So, good evening, everyone. I'm Kusum Kanwar, going live on Unimo Universe of Moms, the world's largest community of mothers for community key activity. So, kindergartens are shut. So, bring kindergartens home. So, when our early years teachers had opened the doors of their homes, their hearts and minds to be visible to our littlest ones in the safety net of their homes, 2 weeks later, schools received the SOPs on no online classes. However, only video teaching and radio is allowed. So, we educators scrambled up to take up this challenge as well, and our video teaching home based learning continues. Though we are still figuring out how to use this radio, and we still await positive communications from the department for further guidelines. Well, COVID and work from home mode changed it all for us. For us as teachers, for us as parents, and for children as well. Today, more than ever, life is a teacher and time is a teacher. We are tweaking our cognitive flexibility, building up the new age skills required and published by the World Economic Forum. The new age skills employers look for, which are cognitive flexibility, their negotiation skills, service orientation, judgment, decision making, and a whole lot of them. So, in the everyday evolving pandemic, the relationship between and the partnership between the parents and the teachers in schools needs to thrive. We educators are keeping the attitudes and positivity high for ourselves, our parents, and our children. We are all just a call away. And that's a great relief to a lot of mommies who communicate with us. So, before we understand how we bring kindergartens home, let's understand what will happen if schooling doesn't happen for a few months in the early years. What is this big deal? Why are we as teachers making such a noise about it? Making a noise about learning in kindergarten. So let's recognize why is learning so important in kindergarten. So what I present to you is research and neuroscience based, which is most most of you know about it, that 90% of brain growth happens in the kindergarten years, that's 0 to 5 years. Now, at birth, the average baby's brain is about a quarter of the size of an average adult brain. Incredibly, it doubles in size in the first year and it keeps growing to about 80% of the adult size by the age 3 and 90% nearly fully grown by age 5. Now, that's the reason the first 5 years of a child's life are very important. They're fundamentally important, and these are the foundation years that shapes the children's future health, their happiness, their growth, their development and learning achievement at school, in the family, in the community, and in life in general. Now more than ever, in these unusual times, the full support from schools who are providing these videos for blended remote learning for children is definitely needed. However, the responsibility to make the learning of the home based activities rests with parents at home during these pandemic times. Now, we need to activate these kindergarten minds. So, a human brain is a chaotic jungle of neurons getting wired together, and early experiences have an enormous influence on children's sponge like brains. Now, by providing everyday activities that arouse your child's curiosity, you are helping to create neural pathways, exposing your preschooler to a variety of stimuli. Now, early years focus has always been developmental goals, not just academic nurturing, but social nourishment too. So, we all know that there are special challenges to every age. However, where high school children are concerned, they can direct their own learning, but the early years children cannot, and they need that supervision. and they need more social nourishment and academic nurturing, as I just mentioned. So, just to help us understand its impact, the story of early years, Kangaroo Kids Kandavali, Thakur Village, will help us how the parents have brought kindergartens home in collaboration with the school. So, presently, they are on a video blended remote learning mode, which each one within the safety network of their homes only. So when children cannot come to kindergartens, we need to facilitate bringing kindergartens to their homes. To start with a few basic guidelines for handholding, that's Early Childhood Association recommends that ECA recommends giving the home school connection in three parts. Of course, the first part is teacher and child connection, where the teacher now is you as a parent. So through face-to-face time, these videos and remote home-based learning, which is right now stalled for the timing, you as parents can take over the teacher's role fully. The second is parent and child interaction. So activities that parents can do with the children, again, ensure no stress on academics, and they can have fun videos to watch together on phonics, on numbers, or games and activities. Now, child independent activities, which the children can do with minimal help, that is doing yoga, home chores, and activities which children can, have some sort of self-help for themselves. Now, Early Childhood Association (ECA) strongly recommends that the connection between the teacher and the child should continue even during the lockdown until preschools or daycares are open. Now, this is very important. Next, you may ask me a question on how do we deal with screen time aspect when it comes to learning. Now, children are watching content not meant for them on television and on mobiles, right? And as adults around them, we are grappling with work issues and not able to give them enough time. In this scenario, a child getting this age appropriate engagement as videos is an appropriate solution as it is sent for children only after verified by schools and is age appropriate. And it's one thing to just plop down in front of a TV screen and binge watch their favorite shows for hours at the end. But that's not exactly the best use of children's time. So, limited and smart use of screen time with blended learning has to be provided to, or has to be brought in, at home. Now, let the activities not be more than 5 to 7 minutes, and then let them keep moving, from one activity to the other. So you plan it in such a way that it moves from one to the next in a matter of 5 to 7 minutes, mainly songs and dance, narrate stories, play games, teach them yoga, laugh, exchange smiles, count objects, name colors, guess letters, and so much more can be achieved through this just by introducing everything through play. Now, as children develop foundational social and emotional, executive functioning, and academic skills through play, early childhood educators often act as facilitators, building upon children's natural curiosities to inspire play. So, we curate spaces with open ended materials that ignite children's engagement with each other and their surroundings. So, now as parents, you can do it. Some strategies for parents to be positive towards video learning so that it is an enjoyable experience for all of you. Now, presently, children are cooped up at home. Now, parents are extremely busy with their work from home and work at home mode and are unable to give them quality time. But happiness in these crucial times is the most important emotion to keep children safe and healthy. So, like I mentioned earlier, it will help parents to borrow a few strategies from the early years and or from educators to get the best learning for the child at home. Now, firstly, maintain schedules. Children need structures and schedules and they thrive on it. Now, this also promotes independence in children. Expect more from your children. So in schools, we expect the children to pour their own water, to eat their own snack, to stack away their plates, to hang up their jackets, and at home to let them do it. Resist doing for them what they can do for themselves. Help to make your child more self sufficient. Don't redo what they have done. If your child makes his or her own bed, resist the urge to smoothen the sheets. Let your children solve simple problems. When you give children a moment to solve these problems, you are creating their character building moments. Assign a simple chore. The goal is to make your child feel capable and a contributing member of the family. So encourage cooperation, and that is very important. Praising your children is the key because children repeat behaviors that get attention, whether it's good or bad. Develop predictable routines because children cooperate in school because they know what's expected of them. Give advance notice before any transition. So at school, we let children know when transitions are coming. So continue at home as well. Give them structured choices. Just be sure if you want your child to choose option A, then option B should be less attractive. Avoid using if statements. Make these requests in a language that assumes cooperation. It's like when you put your crayons away, we will go to play. Not if you put your crayons away, we will go and play. Discipline effectively as you will need it. Your children are 24/7 with you. Involve them in righting their wrongs. What does that mean? So if you find them coloring on the walls and they will do it, if you don't have any other alternative for them, have them help wash it off. Don't do it all by yourself. Understand, don't delay discipline. If you must reprimand your child, do so immediately when you see them misbehaving. Now, let's do some design thinking and rearranging some corners of your homes and a few physical spaces. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, in school, we teach children to, concepts by creating informal settings. Sometimes a kitchen corner, we have reading corners, we create a dollhouse. Now, a school generally models four learning zones to learners. That's the physical zone where activities affecting learning and movement, that which stimulates connections in the brain. Social emotional development zones, essential for self awareness and development of their self esteem. The cognitive and language development, impacting the way children think, how they develop their understanding and apply these to solve problems. The cooperative learning zone focuses on how children apply this knowledge. So your homes already have an informal setting where children have free movement to access these automatic settings. So make use of them. However, in schools, we have to create them. So just by dividing your homes into zones is a game changer for children. Example, a library area that can be created using throw cushions, low seating, storybooks at a height which could be easily reached by children, a cooperative zone created in another corner which a child chooses to do some activities like paint, you can draw, he writes. You can set up storytelling in this zone too. So every time children change their settings and their physiology, it helps stimulating and energizing their brains. The activities that are done at kindergartens are based on seven developmentally age appropriate skills in the early years, which you can use it at home as well. The first being language skills, that's preceded by listening skills. So when you know about these, you can plan your activities accordingly. Your physical, then your social, your emotional, your cognitive skills that involves focus and precision for them, sense of balance, and sense of body awareness. Very simply, any activity that involves that needs to impact your brain, your muscles, and senses in children is very, very necessary. In fact, just keep these three things in mind: your brain, your muscles, and your senses for your everyday activities. So before I get into any examples or more examples of home-based activities, I wish to relate a short, meaningful story of a 89-year-old grandfather's wish for his grandchildren. Now you might think he wished them riches, he wished them, successful careers, great health, great education. But no, his response was, I want them to be able to get back on their feet every time they fall down. And isn't that what we want for all our children? The strength of character, the skills for resilience, a warm toughness. Children need skills to be empathetic, to be caring. They need to learn to manage their emotions, and very essentially, this is the right time to role model it as parents. Now, coming back to examples of home based activities, I would also like to recommend the Blended Remote Learning Manual by the Early Childhood Association, that's the ECA. Anyone who is interested can write in the chat and we can, provide it to you. Now, examples of an art blowing painting technique. There are lots of art activities which you can do, but this particularly I choose because this has been done in our school and this particularly generated a lot of interest. Now, what's that? Blow painting technique where we can do using a straw to blow the paint on the paper. Now, as parents, you pose a question to get your children thinking before they can even begin this art form. Instead of just telling them, okay, let's do this art form, just pose a question. Ask them, how can I get the paint to move on and dance across the paper using just this straw? Wait for the answers to come in, right? Keep in mind that this technique encourages exploration, investigation, and scientific thought. The question encourages, a conversation and helps build social emotional connection. So simple art with lots of fun for children. The time that you can take for this is you can engage your children from 10 to 20 minutes in one activity and then move on to the next. Next on storytelling. Let me tell you, this is done in schools, which can be taken through even at homes through active engagements, through dress up, through dance, through images, through picture books, through math equations, or songs. These being the most fundamental ways in which we can communicate. So, as we know, stories help children develop empathy, it creates imagination, there's divergent thinking, and developing critical thinking skills as well. Now, as learning and skill building cannot pause for these few months, children, because children are going to lose about 5 to 10% of their brain development during this period if the learning is paused, and if we do not make the right stimulations and connections with them now. So children can also learn about their favorite and unique insects. So why I talk about favorite and unique insects? Because you can talk to them about cricket, you can talk to them about the ladybird. Now children are intrigued by these two kinds of insects as per our experience. Ladybirds, well, we all grew up admiring this gorgeous looking insect and let your children, admire these ladybirds too. And more so, there is unlimited fun added to it. Now, these can be done through storytelling. You can do painting. You can, make cricket-shaped sandwiches, chocolatey ladybirds, which you all can eat it together as well. You can also do some seed germination now because it's monsoons and a good time to do it. So when you expose your children to seed germination, it can be mostly casual conversations around seed germination and sprouting. So at this point in time, keep in mind, the conversations in itself are the most powerful learning tools. So keep talking to your children. Your children are exploring, they're discovering and creating and seeing a plant grow. This is real experiential learning, right? And what a sense of thrill and achievement when they see their own microgreens growing at home, right? So what are you exposing them to? You're exposing them to a sense of, achievement, a sense of nurturing in them. You can also speak about how fruits grow, videos, and a lot of conversations around real fruits at home can be done. Also make fruit salads when you're doing something on fruits. Eat it with them and other family members too. This is a lot of fun and family time too. Now while at play, specifically focus on physical activities, right? So you can do throwing balls, you can wash bikes, you can water plants, clean their rooms. That leads to a full day of not only physical development skills but also social emotional learning, because they're talking and constantly communicating with family about the process of what they need, or what they did the full day. This also gives them a feeling and a sense of pride and accomplishment to do something for their families and contributing at home. Now, life skills go very strong with family values and setting family goals. When everyone is collaborating, so it's a great high achievement for children. Another activity of involving the full family is cooking. Very easily it can be done. I will give you a live example of making besan laddus. And as it's not only it's my favorite, it's all most of your favorites. And this family from my school did it and shared pictures with us on making besan laddus. So besan laddu is a huge learning on not only developing fine motor skills, it also enhances the five senses that are involved here. So most importantly, you also instill beating what? The gender stereotypes. So when both the father and the son mold besan laddus, do cooking together and other household chores like washing utensils, drying clothes, laying the table, and also doling out recipes together. It's a huge way of getting to know reality and breaking stereotypes. Now, another very interesting activity that one parent shared was breaking an egg. Now, that is another huge activity that develops fine motor skills, right? It also develops cognitive focus, that is a focus and precision. And we as adults also struggle, sometimes to bake an egg perfectly. So, what better to do it with these children at this age? So, serving others. By serving others, what are they learning? Service and gratitude. The social emotional learning and competencies are developed. Next, when you take them on a bear hunt, and we did this during our remote learning as well. So at home, what you can do is do this at home, but not without their little picnic baskets, right? You make the bear sandwiches, you can make lemonade, then you can go about your home looking for a place to picnic with your picnic baskets. Carry the bear cutout that you've already done with your children, all right, that you painted with them as well. Now, this is another activity that involves all the developmental skills, be it story yoga, be it animal yoga, be it learning, for table manners, placing your fork and spoon, your tea and dinner time etiquettes, laying the table, everything is done mindfully, and that's when their brains, that's where it involves their brain, their muscles, and their senses. Now, science experiments on colors, on density, sink and float, they can be easily done at home with simple objects from home, taking a peeled and an unpeeled orange. So ask them to observe what sinks and what floats. Speaking on density, honey sinks, oil floats. So when children see it by themselves, it's great learning. It just there are these neural connections that happen at that point in time. So when we reach out to children in this way, of remote blended learning, it all falls into place. Here we are connected with each other at different levels of engagement. So we are sure home-based learning will work out if we keep the interaction loving, if we keep the interaction empathetic and compassionate. As they say, if you do something with the correct intent and emotion, it happens. So please continue your journey of successful blended remote learning for your kindergartners at home as the brain growth is happening now at this moment. Always spotlight play. It should be a priority, as play builds the emotions leading to learning. It's also not necessary that your child is entertained 24/7. Let them get a little bored. Why should you not be afraid of boredom? Because if you do not immediately respond to the complaint, I am bored, you will leave your child time to find something to do on their own. This boredom and daily monotony pushes them to develop their sense of imagination, find solutions, new projects, and new ways of being themselves. This is true for not only kindergartners, but also for your older children. What I hear in all this is connection, stimulation, there is warmth, there's social proximity, and we can listen, we can laugh, and bring all our senses together on one platform. Now, parents right now are skeptical whether online learning is good for the child, right? We are all in this together. There's no denying the fact. Parents need to understand that 90% of the brain growth happens during the first 5 years of life, and these are most crucial for children. By providing everyday activities that arouse your child's curiosity, you're helping to create neural pathways, exposing your 3 year olds to a variety of stimuli. So, in times like these, when there is no physical schooling happening, the blended remote learning that you can provide every day will help your child. So, parents, bringing kindergartens home. If your kindergarten cannot go to one, bring kindergartens home. Keep the learning on. Don't pause these few months of learning and the developmental cycle. In this 0 to 5 years, when 90% of the brain development takes place, keep the need of constant stimulation and connection on. In a situation like COVID, which is evolving every day, so the interaction between all of us, you as parents, schools, and teachers, is imperative for our child. So bring kindergartens home. Thank you. Hello. Yeah, so I've ended the live video. So it says if you end this live video now, you'll be able to choose if you want to save or delete it. What do I do? There's one cancel and one end. Save तो कहीं नहीं दिया है. It just says cancel or end. Pardon?
वहाँ पे शेयर वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है।
नहीं, एक मिनट देखने दो. नहीं, सिर्फ दो ही चीज है, कैंसिल
तो
और
सेव
एंड.
वीडियो
हम्म.
सेव वीडियो
सेव नहीं है डार्लिंग.
तो क्या ऑप्शन आ रहा है कैंसिल
और एंड. सो एंड वीडियो
एंड
लाइव.
कर दे
एंड
यस
ना.
यू
हाँ.
डू इट एंड एंड देन यू विल शेयर